Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for being here for New Earth TV Live. It's great to be with you all here again. And of course, as we start off New Earth TV Live, let's just go ahead now and just take a moment. Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and get started with some announcements. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, I'm coming back to my private sessions, one-to-one private sessions, starting here in October. So I got a busy week this week, but I am taking bookings for the month of October right now. So one-to-one private sessions and the EQ method and 3-question sessions by email, group sessions, all of this is available. So again, just go to newearthteachings.com if you want to grab a private session with me for this month of October. Again, I'm looking forward to returning back to the private sessions. It's been an incredible month, just doing a lot of other work, also having some personal time as well. So I'm looking forward to returning back to the wonderful private sessions and talking to each of you. So again, go to newearthteachings.com if you want to book a session with me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's webcast. I see that there's quite a few people that are already doing some healing requests here, so that's great. We are going to be getting into some healing requests here very shortly, and we'll be getting into Q&A here later on as well too. And of course, I'm going to be doing a discussion about recollecting Adronis, right? Not bringing him in, but just recollecting my experiences with Adronis. I was actually talking about this the other day through my 30-day BCR technique challenge video, and I thought it was just a good thing to continue to share, particularly on the Friday live here. So I'll be going into that here very shortly as well too. But first and foremost, we're going to do some exercises, or I would say just rather a single exercise. Now I've already taught you guys about the silent circle, right? Another aspect of that is you can actually look into a silent sphere. Pardon me. You can look into a silent sphere. So as we've done the two-dimensional aspect, we can also work with three-dimensional aspects. So all you're really doing is you're just using a sphere instead of a circle, and this gives it a three-dimensional quality. Now what you can do with this three-dimensional sphere, when you're actually bringing in the emptiness, right? Bringing in the silence and stillness of what is directly into that sphere, you can actually project your thoughts, project your emotions, project any particular event that may be troubling you. And I just want you to imagine like you're holding a sphere in your hand. And I want you to just imagine like you're just projecting a thought, whatever it may be, something that may be troubling you, something that may be bothering you, and you're just putting it right in the center of that sphere, just like if I was to see the center right here as a sphere as I'm holding it together. And I want you just to go back to that moment that we did together as I started the broadcast, where we just had that moment of silence and stillness. And I want you just to feel that thought, that energy that may represent conflict or uneasement, and just holding it in the stillness and the silence of this sphere. And as you stay there, I just want you to feel like that little glowing light that represents the thought is now starting to be absorbed. It's being absorbed directly into the sphere, directly into nothingness. And there's just a sensation that you feel that it's gone, right? So this is basically doing a similar form of work to the silent circle. What we're doing with the silent circle is we're creating it, we're putting the stillness within it, we're turning it to ourselves, and we're putting it into the body, and we're feeling silence and stillness coming into the body. The next step is the silent sphere, right? Where you can actually take a projected thought, right? Projected emotion, whatever it may be, projected event, and just putting it into the heart of the sphere, just like it's right here, like you're holding a sphere, and you just put it right into the nexus of the sphere, and you just observe as you're in that stillness and silence, watching that thought form, that event vanish, and then just check in with yourself afterwards. Feel good. It's no longer there, right? A simple little exercise, kind of like the part 2 with the silent circle, this one being the silent sphere. All right. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to do some exercises. Okay. The second thing, we're going to go back into chakra clearing. Okay. So it's been a while since I've done some chakra clearing because I have been teaching you guys about the silent circle. So with the chakra clearing, we are working with the 7 seals, right? It is based upon the information that Edgar Cayce has provided in the past relating to the nature of the 7 chakras, right? Where it's pretty much linked to the cells and the glands of the body. And we can also associate it together with its own appropriate color rays. Now, from the yogi perspective, there's actually only 6 chakras, right? They do not see it as 7. They do not see this, the crown chakra, or the crown rather, as a chakra center, and they'd be correct with that. The crown itself is an opening, it's a gateway, it's like a portal system, right? 1,000-petal lotus in that way. Now, this is also why when I do the chakra clearing, I mention to everybody not to focus up here, because a lot of people still focus up on the crown of the head, and that's not where the chakra is. Even with Edgar Cayce's information, he says no, the violet chakra would connect to the pituitary gland and not the crown of the head. Okay, so there's really nothing here pertaining to a chakra relating to the crown of the head, right? We've been getting a lot of that misinformation, often through New Age and metaphysical communities, thinking that there's a crown chakra right here. No, it's not. That's an opening. That's a gateway, right? If you're looking into the gland equivalent of the crown chakra, it is in the pituitary gland. All right. So Forrest Knudsen talks a lot about the 6 chakras within the yogi science. Right. So I would suggest I'd like to leave that to him. Right. That's his information. He is a yogi. Right. So what I would suggest is you guys watch his videos. Right. Go to his channel, Forrest Knudsen. Right. It's Forrest, last name Knudsen, Knutson. Right. And he can educate you a lot pertaining to that, because he is a yogi and he's teaching it that way. I'm mainly teaching the Edgar Cayce version of the 7 seals, right? Which is what we're going to do here, right now. All right. So as I've talked about before, we're basically going to plug the ears and do an Om chanting, and we're directing that Om sound directly into the chakra center itself. So if you want to join me, feel free. This feels really refreshing. I don't see why you wouldn't want to join me. Okay, so feel free to join me, and we're going to start off with the root chakra, okay, which is connected directly to the genitals, okay, to the testes and to the ovaries, and it is resonant with the red color frequency. Okay, so we're just going to plug our ears, and we're going to do an Om chanting, taking a deep breath in, directing towards the genitals and the red color frequency. All right, you can really feel that, right? You're directing that sound directly into the chakra center. It feels wonderful, all right? Now we're going to move up into the second chakra, okay, representing that of the sacral. And this is also connected to the genitals, but it's connected to the Leydig and Hylar cells, okay, which is found within the tissue of the testes and ovaries. Leydig for males, Hylar for women, for females. All right. Okay, so we'll plug our ears, take a deep breath in. And it's connected to the orange ray. Okay, moving up now into the third chakra, okay, the solar plexus, colored yellow, and it is directly linked to the adrenal glands. Okay, so plugging the ears, deep breath in. Okay, moving up now into the fourth chakra, okay, the heart, which actually we're focusing on the thymus gland rather than the heart. So the thymus gland is a connector here, okay, and vibrating to that of the green ray color. Okay, so deep breath in. All right, moving up now to the throat chakra, okay, connected directly to the thyroid gland, and we're seeing it in the aqua ray color. So aqua, or kind of a sky blue color. All right, deep breath in. And now we're going to move up into the third eye chakra, okay, connecting directly to the pineal gland, and we can see it either as an ocean blue or we can see it as an indigo ray, whichever you prefer. Okay, deep breath in. All right, I always see it as an ocean blue, not really indigo, but it's up to a person, up to you. Okay, moving on to the final, the seventh chakra, okay, connecting to the pituitary gland, not the crown, but the pituitary in the violet ray. Deep breath in. And let's take one final deep breath in through the nose, out to the nose. And just taking a moment, just feeling that cleansing, right? It's like you just went through a cleaning with the chakra centers, with the glands, with the color ray frequencies. Feels amazing. It's a nice, just a nice, friendly, beautiful, buzzing, loving sensation. I love it. Very good. Okay, everybody. So those are our exercises here for today. So really look into the silent sphere, working with that a lot more. If you've already been able to do the silent circle in the past, you can do the silent sphere. It's a good little simple technique that can help just kind of clear your mind, right? Clearing any particular debris from your mind, if whatever you're worrying about, whatever you're concerned about, whatever conflict is there, you just kind of see it as this nugget of energy that you're just putting directly into that sphere and just holding it there, right? Just as you remain in that silence and that stillness and that emptiness, and you observe it just being dissolved back into the self. All right. Okay, very good, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and move forward to distance healing requests. Okay, we're going to do a few of them today. I know I've already got some contributions here from people. Thank you very much for that. And then I'll be talking a little bit about Recollections of Adronis. Then we'll be getting into Q&A. Now, here's the thing, guys. When you have Q&A with me today, ask questions to me that you would ask to Adronis, okay? This is what I'm saying, is that when I decided to hang up channeling, right? It doesn't mean I'm hanging up the knowledge, okay? If anything, the knowledge is so much greater now as I'm just being a natural vessel of spirit, right? It is far more greater, and I'll be explaining why that is. So when we get into Q&A, guys, don't hold back. Okay, if you have a question, as if Adronis was right here, as if we are here at this time, right? If I was doing that, okay, I know you guys would be pouring questions into the chat with him, right? Don't hold back. Give that to me, right? It's like I said, the knowledge is always going to continue, and it's going to be greater. So don't be shy. Don't hold back. If you have a question that you would like to ask me, like you would ask Adronis, bring it forward. Bring it on. All right? Okay. So let's get into some distant healing now. Sunny Days, thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate that. Lisa here has a question. Hi, Brad. Can you send healing to my best friend, Alexa? Alexa, okay. Yes, certainly. And that's good. You just kept it short and sweet. You don't have to let me know what her condition is. All right? So, Lisa, you are going to be the medium. You're going to be the bridge for this healing. All right? And we're going to do some realignment method. So, Lisa, what I'd like you to do right now, and you guys can follow along, you can participate alongside Lisa to help give love to her best friend. We're all in this together, right? That's the important thing. So, Lisa, right now, just close your eyes. You can place your hands upon the center of your chest or on your lap, whichever you prefer. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, if you want to take a cleansing breath, you can breathe out through the mouth. Okay. And now, Lisa, I just want you to close your eyes, and you're now just seeing void. All right? In void, I want you just to see your friend, Alexa, what was her name? Alexa, okay. I just want you to see her laying down on a couch or a bed, okay? Now I want you just to imagine like you're just walking over to her. She's laying down. It's like she's in a sleep, okay? And you're just placing your hand at the top of her chest, and you're feeling these black etheric roots coming out through your hands, through your palms, okay? Or both palms, really. If you want to put both hands on her chest, you can, but I'd say really just do it with one, okay? So just feeling that, those black etheric roots coming out through the hand, and I want you just to tap into her body. So these roots are information roots, okay? They're giving you information. They're giving you insight in regards to the state of her body. Now, she may have already told you some things that she's going through, but you may actually discover other things as well, too, okay? So as her best friend, you're doing this wonderful service for her, okay? It's between you and her, really. I'm just the moderator here. Okay, so just take a moment and just feel into her body. Anything that her body wants to tell you, just be aware. Okay, now I just want you to put both of your hands together and just imagine like you're holding a ball of energy in between both of those hands. Okay, this is your thought ball. So now what I want you to do is I want you just to think of the condition that your friend Alexa has, all right? And I want you now just to imagine everything in regards to that condition, that conflict, is now completely absent from her. So you're seeing her body being completely clean, completely free, completely absent of any of these harshnesses, conflicts, and conditions. And you're seeing her waking up, and you're seeing her smiling. You're seeing her in amazement. She's just feeling her body and saying, oh my God, everything I was afraid of is gone. All conflict is gone. All my conditions are gone. I feel like a clean slate. I feel young. I feel vitalized. I feel amazing. I feel wonderful. This is a wonderful feeling. And she's getting up and she's celebrating, and you're celebrating together with her. And you're putting all of your love, all of your deep feelings you have for her. You're feeling this love just overflowing through her. You're celebrating with her. You're so happy that she is in such a wonderful state of mood, that her body has been completely revitalized, that she is absent of any of these old conflicts and conditions. You are so happy with her. You're celebrating with her. You are so joyful. And you're seeing this happen to her right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Okay, and you see where my hands are? They're completely expanded out. Right? This is your thought ball, and it's filled with your happiness, it's filled with your support, it's filled with your love and your compassion and your joy for your friend. All right? So I want you now just to slowly bring those hands back, and you're compressing this ball into the size of a tennis ball. And you're seeing your friend here on the couch or on the bed, okay? And you're just putting that ball directly into her crown, okay? That energy is now surging through her entire body. So all of your love, all of your happiness, all of your support, everything that brings you into deep care with your friend is inside that ball, all right? So I want you just to feel that energy flowing through her. You're smiling at her. You're so happy for her. You're seeing her in full restoration, full recovery, and her new body is completely absent of any conflict and condition. I want you to hold that now, okay? I command God Spirit Light to apply Lisa's command for her friend Alexa. Apply. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. All right, so Lisa, all the best to you and to your friend. If you guys want to share a follow-up with me, you can put it on chat or you can drop me an email. Just go to newarkteachings.com, contact page. You can drop me a message if you like for a follow-up, okay? So keep doing that with Lisa, right? Just what you did today. Don't just think it's just a one-hit wonder, right? Keep working together with her. Keep sending that love to her. And all you're doing is once you're ready to send it, you just say, Spirit, let it be done, right? Spirit, let it be done, okay? And it will come, all right? You have full authority to do that, all right? Thank you, Lisa. Okay, let's go down the list here. This one is for Jane. Jane Clark. Yeah, Jane says, thank you, Brad, for your service. I just found you recently and resonated with what has been presented. Please, I request healing for myself and the challenge I am facing. Thank you. Okay. Certainly, Jane, we can do that. So, like I said, 99.9% of the healing here is going to be done by you, right? So I'm just guiding you through the entire process, and then Spirit basically just triggers that 0.1%, and it reflects back to you, okay? So Jane, just get yourself nice and comfortable. You can place your hands upon the center of your chest. Okay, taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right. And I want you just to observe yourself now from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Just feeling out your body as it is right now, not trying to change or alter anything. Just accepting it as it is. Okay, and I want you now just to imagine like there's just this wave of fatigue that's coming over the physical body. Okay, just a wave of fatigue. The eyes start to get heavy, and you just feel like you're just conking out. Okay, you're not really conking out, you're just telling yourself, yeah, physical body conk out, right? We're just imagining that that is happening. Okay, and I want you just to imagine like you're floating above your body in your dream or astral body, and you're just looking down at the physical body, okay? As you're doing that, I want you to imagine that your old body, or your present body, you could say, is now going through a bodily mitosis. It's splitting, okay? And there's this brand new body that is appearing directly in front of it, okay? This is your brand new body that is completely absent of any conflicts, conditions, and harshnesses, all right? So as you see this new body appear before you, you're seeing the old body just starting to fade away. It's gone. It's no longer present. So you are now with this brand new, resilient, and refined, pristine body. All right? So I just want you to feel like your astral body is just hovering directly above. It's like you see the head right here. Okay? And you're just hovering directly above it. And now you're feeling yourself incarnate into this body. You're feeling yourself imbue your astral body directly into this new body. Okay? Now I want you just to feel now this new body, right? You're moving the wrists, you're moving the fingers, you're moving the shoulders, rotating them, right? Maybe you're doing little twists like this, okay? Moving your head right, left, up, down, curling your toes, and you're just tuning into this new body, right? And I really want you to make this as vivid to yourself as possible. And you're tuning in and you feel the organs just so completely refined. They are pristine, right? Your heart, your liver, your lungs, your kidneys, your stomach, everything is in a complete and total refined state of being. There is no problem with them whatsoever. You're going into yourself and you're feeling this clean slate feeling. You feel like you're completely absent of any problems, completely absent of any conditions. The spine feels amazing. The skeletal system, the musculoskeletal system feels amazing. It's like you just popped into a brand new, fresh body that has never been used before, right? And you feel amazing. And this is where the thought ball comes in, right? So we have that energy ball now in between our hands, and we're just slowly expanding it based on the love that we have of being in this new body, of being in this new form, of being absent of any conflicts and conditions. We're feeling amazing. The body feels pristine. It feels so young. I'm full of vitality. I got all this energy. I feel like I'm 16 years old again. It feels incredible. I am so happy. I feel so wonderful. The energy is going through the roof. This feels incredible. I'm so young. I feel great. Everything in regards to my problems have vanished. The conflict is gone. My thoughts are clear. No harsh emotions within me. Everything that represented those conditions have vanished. This is wonderful. This is who I am. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Okay? Slowly bringing in your hands, compressing that ball. Size of a tennis ball. And you're putting it into the crown. Right? You're feeling that energy surging into you. And you're just feeling all of that wonderful, loving energy that you have put into yourself. Okay? And I just want you to hold it there. I command God's Spirit Light to apply Jane's command to her. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right. Jane, how are you feeling? All right. You can let me know in the comments if you want. Continue to do this every day, okay? Come back to this recording daily and keep doing this. And like I said, the end command is, Spirit, let this be done, okay? You have full authority, and it will be done, okay? You're your greatest healer, all right? Thank you, Jane. Okay, we have one here from Gabriella. Gabriella says, hi, Brad. I need healing for my father, Pandel. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Pandel, okay? So healing for your father, Pandel. Okay, great. So, Gabriella, same thing. You're going to be the bridge, okay, just as the person, Lisa was her name, yep. Just as Lisa was for her friend Alexa, okay? So you're going to be the bridge for your father, Pandel, okay? Or Pandele. Again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I apologize if I'm not. So, Gabriella, just go ahead now and take a deep breath in. Out to the mouth, cleansing breath. Okay, you can have your hands on the center of your chest or on your lap, whichever you prefer. Okay, with your eyes closed, I want you now just to see void. And in this void, I just want you to see a bed. Upon this bed, you see your father. Okay, doesn't even matter if he's in the same room with you or not. Okay, you're seeing his hologram. You're working with his hologram that is directly linked to his self. Okay. So I want you now just to walk over to your father, laying down in bed. And now you're just placing your hand on top of his chest, feeling those black etheric roots coming out to the hand, connecting directly with his body. Okay, and I just want you to listen. Just listen to what the knowledge veins, those knowledge roots, have to share together with you about your father. Okay, you may be aware on the surface of what he's going through, but you're going deeply. You're connecting to his heart. His heart tells you everything, right? So I just want you to listen. Be aware of that. Okay. Now that you have that insight, we're now just going to have that energy ball directly in front of us now. Okay, this energy ball is your thought ball. It is your thought ball of positive reinforcement. Okay, you're creating reinforcement with this thought ball. So now I want you to feel as if it's slowly starting to expand. All this love energy is flowing through you. You're now seeing your father, Pandel, completely free of any conflicts and conditions whatsoever. He is completely absent of any harshnesses. He is getting up, just like he's waking up from a nap, and he feels his body, and he feels completely better, completely restored, completely rejuvenated. He is free of any form of harshness, any form of conflict and condition. He's smiling. He's saying, oh my goodness, something has happened. I feel so much younger. I feel clean. My thoughts feel clean. My body feels clean. This is amazing. And he's getting up and he's celebrating with you. I want you to make this your reality. Completely vivid with this, 100%. That's where you come in. And I want you to see yourself celebrating with your father. Seeing how happy he is. He feels like a young man again. He's got all this energy. All of those conflicts are gone. His body feels pristine. He feels amazing. And you're celebrating. You're laughing. Maybe you have tears of joy for him. You're hugging him. You're embracing him. You're so thrilled that he has fully recovered. And you're expanding that love. You're making it wider and wider and wider. Make this your reality. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Compressing that ball into the size of a tennis ball. Putting that in the crown of your father. Okay. Feel that infusing into his body, surging into his body, and just holding that intention there. Okay? I command God's Spirit Light to apply Gabriella's command for her father. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, very good. So Gabriella, keep doing this every single day. Go back to the recording, okay? Do this every day. Say, Spirit, let it be done right at the end. Let this continue to happen. You're building a probable body for your father, okay? Now here's where you come in, and this is for Lisa as well too. You are acting as if the people that you are giving service to already are in this body, okay? You do not see their old selves anymore. This is how you help. This is reciprocity, right? You are treating your father, Gabriella, and your best friend, Lisa, all right? You are treating them as if they're in that new body. Do not diverge away from that. This is what's going to help them to go into that body. So you see them happy, you see them celebrating, you feel them full of love. You want to treat them as such, okay? Make that promise to yourself. That's what's going to really help them coming into this probable body to make it into a certain body. But to you, it's already certain. All right? Thank you very much. Okay. So this one here is from Arav. If I'm pronouncing your name right too. If I don't pronounce your name right, guys, I'm sorry. It's different when I can actually hear a name. When I just see a name, yeah, it's kind of a gamble. So Arav says, hi Brad, this is Amber. Oh, Amber, hello Amber. Writing to request for healing for my mother. Okay, thank you. All right, so Amber, yes, we will certainly do that. Thank you. It's a bit of an easier name. I kind of almost break in a sweat. Okay, I don't really know how to pronounce your name. You have to forgive me. So if I do ever get your name wrong, guys, I apologize. Okay, so Amber, yes, we will work on you now, and we'll work with your mom. All right, so same thing. You're the bridge, okay? 99.9% of the healing is done by you, okay? That even includes with the person that you're helping, okay? This is your probable body that you're assigning them. Your emotion and your realism of knowing that this is true is what's going to help it, okay? That's why we do the reciprocity. Okay, so Amber, close your eyes, okay? Placing your hands on the chest or in your lap, whichever you prefer. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right. Going into void. Seeing a bed directly in front of you. Seeing your mother laying down on that bed. Approaching your mother. Feeling the black etheric roots coming out of your hand. Connecting to the top of her chest. Connecting to her heart. Listening to her body. You may be aware of what's happening to her on the surface. What's happening deeper. Okay, let her heart tell you. Okay? Having your thought ball here. Okay, your reinforcement ball of thought. Okay, now you're just seeing your mother starting to wake up from this nap. And what is she doing? She's celebrating. She's happy. She's tuning into herself. She's tuning in her body. She feels younger. She feels amazing. She feels super happy. I want you to put all of those feelings exactly as if your mother is doing this. She's smiling. She feels like, again, she's a clean slate, like she's in this brand new body that's never been used. It's like being inside a new car that you've never ever stepped in from before, right? You just have that new car smell and everything is pristine. Well, this is the same thing. This is your new Cadillac of a body, right? So she's feeling that. She's feeling that love. She's feeling that happiness. She's feeling that joy. She's tuning into her organs. They're in pristine shape. She doesn't have any of those harsh conflicts. She doesn't have any of those harsh conditions. All of that has vanished. She's celebrating. She's getting up and saying, oh my God, I feel so young, right? And she's filling with all this energy. She has the energy of a 16-year-old, a nice, healthy 16-year-old. You're celebrating with her. You are so thrilled. You're seeing her in this beautiful, pristine body. You're seeing how young she looks. You're seeing her vitality just flowing through her. Celebrate with her. Make this your reality right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Bringing that ball in, size of a tennis ball. Okay, putting that into your mother's crown. Okay, feeling that energy infusing directly with her body, holding that there. Okay. I command God's Spirit Light to apply Amber's command for her mother. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so Amber, make that your reality, treating your mother as if she's already in that new body. Reciprocity 101. All right? Very good. Okay, guys, we're going to take one more healing, and then we're going to go into my topic today, and then we're going to go into Q&A. Okay, so this is the last healing, just so everybody knows. Okay, Melissa says, hi, Brad. Would really appreciate a healing, very resistant to change, wanting to cling to the familiar, painful patterns. Okay. No problem. We'll work on that. All right. I could probably give you some information about that, but that's okay. That's not what we're here to do. We're going to do some realignment. All right. So, Melissa, placing your hands upon the center of your chest, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. All right. And now just being aware of the physical body, being aware of your thoughts, being aware of your feelings. Not trying to change everything, just being aware of yourself from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Not trying to change or alter anything, just accepting yourself completely in this moment as you are. Okay, Melissa, now I want you to feel like that energy of fatigue is just coming over the physical body. Eyelids are getting heavy. Right? Head just conks out. Feeling yourself leaving that physical body. You're in your dream astral body now, hovering directly above that physical body. Physical body goes through body mitosis. Okay, you're feeling this brand new body directly in front of the old body. With this brand new body here, you're feeling the old body fade away, dissolving away. And now you're bringing your awareness to this brand new, pristine body. And now you feel your dream astral body hovering directly above, just above the head of this new body. I want you to feel yourself now imbuing yourself directly into this new body. Okay, you're just moving yourself nice and gently. Okay, you can slowly rotate the head if you want. Okay, or you can look left or right, up, down. Rotating the wrists, moving the fingers, slowly moving the spine. Okay, curling the toes, and just feeling out this brand new body, and you're feeling how pristine it is. I want you to see that within your mind. Complete and total pristine nature. Right? Your organs are completely revitalized. They are young and healthy and radiant and well. Your thoughts are now a clean slate. Everything feels pure. Like I said, it's like stepping into that new car, that brand new car feeling, that new car smell. It's never been touched before. Well, this is the same thing with your body. It's never been touched before. Soul has never incarnated into it before. It's a fresh adult body. Okay? Now I want you to put that intention forward. This is more important to you than your concerns about the world. Stop worrying about the conditions of the world. Not your job. Not your responsibility. Be with yourself right here, right now. Right? So you see all those concerns vanishing away. I don't have them. I'm a clean slate. I'm absent of those conflicts and conditions. I'm a fresh being. Right? And you're just tuning into that, and you're smiling. You're feeling so happy. You're laughing. This is incredible. I feel like a 16-year-old again. I feel so fresh in the body. I feel so pristine, right? You got that thought ball. Okay, that thought ball is expanding, putting all of your love. This is amazing. Body feels incredible. Organs feel incredible. My thoughts are clean. My feelings are clean. Everything about me is completely clean. I'm celebrating. I'm laughing. This feels wonderful. This feels amazing. I'm reborn into a brand new body. This is who I am. This is who I am. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Bringing that ball back, compressing it into a tennis ball, putting it into your crown. Feeling that energy of your love, your happiness, your support, your compassion, this freshness of a brand new pristine body, keeping it all inside there and just holding that there. I command God Spirit Light to apply Melissa's command to her. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay. Thank you very much, Melissa. Remember, keep doing this every single day. Peel the layers of the onion, all right? Like I said, for all of you who I've been helping out today for the healing, if you keep repeating this every single day, I'd say for at least 30 days, I would say even go beyond that. You're peeling off the layers of the onion. You're going to feel a lot more of this pristine body every single day that you do this exercise. Remember, we end it with, Spirit, let it be done, okay? Full authority to do that. Go ahead, all right? Do this every day. Thank you so much. All right. So guys, we're going to move on to the topic now. Again, as I was talking about, Recollections of Adronis. Like I said, I was talking about this yesterday when I was doing the live for the 30-day BCR Technique Challenge. By the way, I suggest you guys check that out. If you have not checked it out yet, it's an amazing 30-day challenge. Tomorrow will be day 22 with it. It changes lives. All right. So check it out, please. All right. So, as I was talking about, when I made that announcement, it was back in July, where I decided to exit channeling, or I decided to retire from it. And basically, like I said, I was just getting the guidance to do so. I was talking to Adronis about it. He was very, very happy for me, right? He was not sad in any particular way. So I know a lot of people have been sad, right? I've actually had some people unsubscribing from my channel because I don't channel Adronis anymore, right? So that happens, and I've expected that to happen. Right? And that's fine. People have to go on their own way. But again, I made this decision. It was not a light decision to make. When I first heard about it, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks and saying, wow, it's time for me to say goodbye to Adronis, right? And I've had that feeling for quite some time before that happened, right? Months and even a couple of years before that, that there will come a time where he won't need to be here, where he will not need to be channeled by me anymore, because that work is coming to an end, because I'm seeing myself going into different degrees of expansion and just working completely with spirit. So that really what has been happening. Again, just the entire month of September, again, was 1 month after I made that decision to part ways with Adronis, just to part ways with the channeling state. It wasn't even just Adronis himself. It was just the whole ability to channel, right? And what I've noticed through this past month, right, not channeling him anymore, has been a greater awakening, a greater expansion, a greater realization. And just being able to work directly with spirit is so much more stronger, is so much more profound. But again, the funny thing is that with Adronis, right, he needs a channel to basically talk about earthly affairs, right? If it was basically just him trying to come down upon the planet, he would not be an appropriate candidate for sharing that information, because he needs a human connection, right? And that's where I came in as a channel. As a channel, basically all the information pertaining to the earth came through me to be fed to him. So the nature of the channeling state, it does have a lot of limitations to it, right? So this is what I was noticing when I was channeling him as well too. So I feel like there were certain things that I could not touch when I was with him, because he was the proxy. He was the medium, right? He was the buffer here, receiving all of this information, feeding it directly to me. There are certain things I feel that he really could not address, because that's the limitation you have when you have a bridge, when you have a medium, when you have an entity that is retrieving a lot of this information for you and can really only share so much information. He has an outer circle relationship pertaining to the nature of the earth. And of course, Adronis had that star connection with us. He is blood related to us as well too, right? Part of His people's genetics are within ourselves as well. But again, as soon as you have a medium, as soon as you have that proxy that's there, that's getting all of this information and feeding it into the channel, it's great because there's a lot of information that can come out of that, but it's also very, very limiting, right? Because you're really having to alter your own consciousness, which is what I did, right? I'm basically just tuning into his vibration, tuning into his frequency, and getting this information from him, right? And again, I would do that mantra, right? Terra, Sol, Star, Sirius, right? And Adronis, and then having him come in, right? But the very interesting thing that always happened to me is I would go into a daydream state, right? I would go into these landscapes. Like I would see old places I'd live. I'd see just beautiful, lush environments as well, too. So I was basically in a daydream state while Adronis was coming through and talking. I could hear conversations that were happening in the background, but I was not directly involved because that was all part of training, right? You take yourself out of the equation. Adronis is here and you're here, right? And you're just kind of hovering in the background. That's really what I was doing. I was just kind of hovering with these landscapes, these beautiful vistas, and letting Adronis do the talking, right? So he would come through and he would share a lot of profound information, right? And this is why I think people fell in love with him, because of his personality, right? His personality came very strongly through me, right? We are here and we'll tell you this, right? He was very bold. He was very direct. He was very strong. He was a very, very powerful masculine energy, right? But I really didn't get too much tales, as it were, too many stories about Sirius with him, right? He really kind of held back in talking about Sirius, right? He would talk about certain things here and there. I'd have a lot of people asking him questions about that. What about Sirius? What about Sirius? So we can tell you certain things about this, but it's really not about that. It's not about where we come from, right? And again, that's kind of the limitation, right? He was trying to focus more so on our personal growth, our earthly affairs as well too. And a lot of people wanted to get to know more about him. And he always kind of was very reserved about that. He only just shared bits and pieces at appropriate times as well too. But as I've connected with him in the past as well too, he comes from a very rich civilization, an ancient civilization. It goes all the way back into the times of ancient Lyra, right? He's basically a Lyran descendant. That really was his descendancy in that way. And so his people lived upon a third planet existing within Sirius A. There came a time in that sense where there was like a great harvest. And basically him and his people, I guess that particular race, that particular civilization, was able to reach an ascension and move into the starlight of the sun of Sirius A. So that, again, is just kind of giving a bit of a background. And that's how he became much more of a somewhat non-physicalized consciousness, because his entire being was actually part of the star of Sirius A. So this is why people ask, what planet do you come from? We do not come from a planet. We are of Sirius A. We are one with the star, right? So that was always very, very interesting. It's basically that their souls were actually being pulled into the sun, and they actually ingrained themselves directly into the sun, the star of Sirius A. So like I said, even my own information with him was quite limited as well too. Like he really held back on it. He really did not want to tell us the great richness and tapestry of his life, about what he was experiencing, about how he experienced things. But it was more so in the idea he didn't really know how to explain it, because it was just beyond our comprehension to really look at that intellectually, right? Some people have told me that they've had personal interactions with Adronis, that he actually projected himself in their room at times, right? This is why I say you guys don't really need me as a channel to talk to Adronis, right? If you have a very, very strong, loving connection with him, he'll appear, right? He's still here, right? I'm just not channeling him anymore. And like I said, he's in complete agreement with that. Even if I tried to go into that state again, there's nothing there. It's kind of like just a blank space, right? Because I even just looked at that and said, okay, let's see if I can... No, there's nothing. It's a blank space. It's kind of like looking at a blank page. There's nothing there. The cords have been cut, right? So even if I wanted to channel him again, I couldn't, right? It's just a blank page that's there altogether. But like I said, this is why there's a lot of limitation with channeling. This is why channeling in that sense is not very well known. And in that sense, it's still very, very perplexing. It's very enigmatic. When I decided to get into channeling, it was something that was just really, really fascinating to me, because I would see other people do it, right? The very first channel that I met was Magenta Pixie, right? And I formed a nice friendship with her. I was talking to her about how she channeled. Later on, I talked to Daryl Anka, but that didn't come till later. He was not the first channel I saw, right? It was Magenta Pixie, it was Blossom Goodchild, right? Those were the two that I met first and started talking to. And I met some other local channelers, right? They didn't really have a big following in that way, but I started an online community, and I had channelers there as well too, and I was talking. So how do you channel? How does it work, right? That was very, very new and very fresh to all of this, and they were giving me information. So I was being kind of like that journalist. I was just writing down and saying, here's what they do. Here's how they go into that state. Here's what they feel. And I said, well, I can't really go into an unconscious state. And they said, Brad, you don't have to. You don't have to go into an unconscious state. You don't have to, zonk yourself out and feel that an entity comes through, because that was my belief at first. Because, okay, well, these channels like zonking themselves out and something just taking over their body and now they're speaking. I said, no. It's not like that at all. It's the idea that it's a relationship, right? You're building a relationship. You're going into an altered state, yes, but you're still here. Your soul's not leaving your body, and you're just going into this altered state of consciousness. And now this intelligence comes through, and you start receiving their thought transmission. Interesting, right? So I started doing that through automatic writing, right? I'd start going into channeled writing. I'd have a notebook, and I'd just start writing things out. Sometimes I'd go on the computer. I'd start typing things out as these other consciousnesses came through, because I just started connecting with collective consciousnesses. And then there was people saying, well, Brad, you should do like a Q&A with us. And I was really nervous about that. I don't know if I'm ready for that. So I started doing certain Q&As, just talking to some collective consciousnesses. One of them was like the I don't remember the name, something about the five inner selves of Arcturus or something like that was one of them. And I was connecting to a few other collective consciousnesses as well too. And it wasn't until a friend of mine told me that I had connections with Sirius. That's when I started bringing Adronis in, right? So I just started channeling him just through channeled writing at first, and then getting to know him at that time. So that is, again, what really kind of created the benchmark for me to continue to explore channeling, because I was fascinated by it, right? I was just coming from a space where none of this was part of my life. Before 2008, I was never into psychic ability. I thought it was crap. I was never into channeling. I was never into healing. I was any of that stuff. I was like, come on, this is just a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of garbage, right? That was my mentality of it. I was never into any of this stuff that I do right now, like prior to 2008, right? But something clicked. Something clicked within me and said, I have a fascination to get involved with this. And this is, like I said, I was the person that you would least expect to follow a journey like this, right? I was very much part of the modern world. I was pretty much an unemotional guy. I wasn't very emotional at all, right? Very logically based, very rational, right? I guess you could say kind of like a sleeper in that way. And again, it was in 2008 of August. That's when I had this click, right? And just started to look at this, because as soon as I started looking at this, I couldn't get enough. I wanted more, wanted more, wanted more. And so again, that began my channeling journey, not just with channeling, but with healing, with remote viewing, with everything that I have been doing since 2008. That's really what started it. But as I look back now, in regards to the state of channeling to where I am right now, channeling is definitely a limitation, right? When you're actually connecting directly with spirit, you have no buffer, you have no proxy, you have no medium. It's between you and infinite intelligence, right? I wouldn't even say it's kind of like two here. It's just one. This is why I say that I am spirit, right? As I am spirit, spirit speaks through me. So there's no middleman anymore. There's no net. Now, some people do require a net. Some people do require a channeled entity, or decide to, in mediumship, have their guides and so forth. That's great. That's completely fine. For me, that's not necessary anymore, right? I just cut the net down, right? So I've had some people saying, oh, Brad, I wish you would bring back Adronis, right? Please bring him back. Guys, I can't. Like I said, if I even try to tune into his frequency, there's nothing but a blank page there, right? And like I said, I don't need to do that anymore. You guys need me to channel, right? I don't need me to channel, right? So I basically have decided to hang that up. And like I said, I do not regret that decision, with August 31st being the last day of channeling him. Now, there is a Japanese book that is going to be coming out here in the next couple of months. That is the last Adronis book for Japan, okay? I did a first one a couple years ago with Adronis, and there's a second one coming out. It was around August 28th, August 29th. I had Voice Japan, the publishing branch of it, coming forward and saying we would like to do a book with Adronis before he leaves. So that's exactly what happened. So there's a book in Japanese that's coming. I asked them, I said, are you guys going to try and translate this into English? They said if we do, it'll probably be done through Kindle publishing, making an ebook. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. If I do feel that the first and second books are actually translated into English, then that's something I'll let you guys know. But really, a lot of the information that Adronis shared was not anything new, primarily. It's a lot of the stuff that he has shared in the past. So for the English speakers, you can look into the past Adronis videos here on the channel. The Adronis videos are not going anywhere. They will stay on this channel. I'm not taking them off or anything like that. So maybe some people were concerned about that. If he's not channeling Adronis, he's going to take off all the Adronis videos. No, they're all going to stay on. The webinars that I did with him in the past are still available on my newearthteachings.com channel as well too. So all of that is still there. So basically, even though I've phased out that channeling state, everything pertaining to Adronis and Rayar and all the channeling I've done will still remain as archives. All right. So that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. And like I said, I really can't explain how freeing it is to really move past the idea of a channeling state and just be one with spirit, right? It's something you have to experience for yourself to really know it. So that again is just where I stand. And like I said, I know there have been some disappointed people that did not want me to stop channeling him. But guys, I had to make this decision for myself. It was my decision. It was something that I had to choose. I had to say, okay, yes, it is time to hang it up. Because as soon as I was making that decision, I was getting all this kind of like spiritual celebration. And I said, Brad's going to hang up channeling. Yes, thank God he's doing it, right? It's like they wanted me to do this for quite some time. So again, that's my story. That's what I'm sticking to. All right. Thank you guys. All right. So let's go down the list here. See if you guys do have any questions, any Q&A here. All right. So this one here is from George. George did a contribution here. George says, Brad, can I ask for healing for a wound on my upper left arm that doesn't want to heal, please? Okay, well, George, you're kind of too late, right? Because we're not really doing... whoops. Okay, just a moment here, guys. I think I just had a brief cutout there for a second. Okay, looks like everything is good now. I may have cut out there for a few seconds, so I apologize. Anyways, hopefully it's stable. I'm not too sure why the internet's acting up like this. I'm probably saying things I'm not supposed to say, right? So George asked the question, Brad, can I ask for healing for a wound on my upper left arm that doesn't want to heal, please? Okay, so George, please contact me personally and we can work on that, okay? Just the healing time is already done, right? We're a little too late for that. So George, just drop me an email, and if you need some healing for your upper left arm, right? If you're feeling that there's a wound there for an upper left arm that's not been able to heal, you should really seek medical attention, okay? I've had people like that where they've had really bad wounds, and they're showing to me, guys, what do you want me to do here? Right? If you have a really bad wound like that, you need to seek medical attention, okay? I'm not here to heal your open wounds, right? I've had people like that approach me in the past, like they've had like some really bad cuts. So, Brad, can you hear me? Guys, I'm not an emergency physician here. I don't know what you want me to do, right? So it can help certainly more so with the pain and emotional level of it. But in regards to a physical cut, George, you need to go get medical attention, okay? You need to get that taken care of, okay? That's a physical wound. So you want to make sure that's being taken care of. There's not much I can do. I'm not like an EMT here, okay? Guys, I'm not here for emergency healing services. That's not on my resume whatsoever, okay? If you're in pain, if you got a bad cut, you need to go seek medical attention immediately, okay? It's not something you just go on YouTube and ask for a person to heal your cut. When that's been there for quite some time, you're risking infection, okay? Go to a medical clinic, get assistance, get help, okay? It's not something that you need to go to a healer on YouTube to say, Brad, can you heal my cut? Guys, I'm not doing that. It's not like, oh, hey, look, it's all gone now. No, right? We can work with healing the pain of it, right? If it's painful, we can work on that. We can work on some emotional background with it. But as far as the cut goes, heal the cut. Get medical attention. George, get medical attention, okay? That's what I would suggest to you. But if you want to talk to me afterwards, we can do that, all right? So, okay, here's one from Jana. Jana says, hi, Brad, question. Can we use the silent sphere to regenerate or grow new cells in the body and also new mind patterns? I don't want to have a tooth implant, but prefer the tooth grown organically. Well, again, you have to understand that when you're working with the silent circle, when you're working with the silent sphere, you're clearing out a lot of debris there. Now, in regards to the physicality of the body, right? A lot of people come to me and say, Brad, can I regrow teeth? You can regrow teeth, but it takes a lot of concentration. If you're going into meditation and you're putting that intention to grow new teeth, over time, there may be something like that can happen. I have yet to meet anybody who has said, Brad, I've been able to regrow a tooth. All right? So I'm saying, yes, it's possible, but it requires a lot of concentration, a lot of focus on yourself. You really have to be a master of your mind, right? I haven't even tried that. I actually have a missing tooth in the back of my mouth here as well, too. I never have tried to regrow it in that way. I've just come to terms that there's not a tooth there, right? So it's not saying it's impossible, but you really have to really kind of master matter. You have to master matter with the mind, right? You have to go into this state, and a lot of it is quite commonly what we refer to as yogic trance. If you're going into yogic trance and you're seeing yourself in this deep trance state because you're bypassing the ego, you're bypassing your ignorance, then you're having an opportunity for something like that to come together. Okay? Some people in hypnosis have been able to, right? If they go into deep hypnosis, they've been able to heal old scars and so forth. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they bypass the ego. They bypass the ignorance. That ego ignorance is the filter that's preventing certain things like that, miracles as it were, from happening, right? So that is what you have to train yourself to do. You have to train yourself to be completely surpassing the ego and the ignorance, so that you're going into these deep trance states and you're now actually talking to the gums, you're talking to your teeth, and you're encouraging regrowth, okay? Now, what I would really suggest as well too is that you're bringing in a lot of minerals, okay? What I would suggest you guys also do is work with trace minerals, all right? Get like the trace mineral water and having that daily as well too. Pretty much almost all of us are deficient of appropriate minerals. So if you go on somewhere like Amazon, or maybe there's some department stores, health food stores as well too, that have trace mineral water, you want to have that. You want to get your trace minerals in there, okay? You want to re-mineralize your body. That really, really helps. So like I said, I have not met anybody personally who has said, Brad, I've been able to regrow teeth, or regrow teeth or regrow a tooth, right? I have not met anybody like that. So like I said, I know it is possible, but you really have to develop a very, very deep state of awareness where you are superseding the ego, ignorance system, and then being able to talk to your body, and something like that can commence, okay? But it's something very few people can do because they have to get out of their own ego. So hypnosis could probably do that if you go into deep hypnosis, or again, being able to work with yogic trance, and you could probably do something like that, okay? The silent sphere, no, that's basically helping to clear out a lot of debris there. If there's a lot of attachments, if there's a lot of dense energy that's there, then yes, we can certainly use the silent sphere or the silent circle to take a lot of that out. But using it to regrow teeth, no, that's not what it's for, okay? The guys, this is not the Matrix, okay? Right, we look at that movie, The Matrix, and Brad, hey, do you have the capability to regrow a limb? Guys, if I had that issue, do you think I'd have problems with my body, right? I still have some problems with my body. I still have problems with my hips, right? I still have problems with my left shoulder in that way. You think if I could do that I'd still have problems with my body? No. So the whole idea is that for those kind of miraculous healings to happen, you've got to get out of the ego. You have to completely get out of it, and you're completely center pointed on one spot, right? Your focus is on this one thing. It's that central focus. That's where you go into your God state, right? But there's no rambling thoughts. There's nothing of distraction in the background. You have to learn to be single pointed, and you're going into that trance, and you're staying in that single point, and you may want to stay in there for hours, right? If you're looking to regrow a tooth, right? So yes, it can happen, but there's a lot of work to it, and there's a lot of discipline that entails it, and there's a lot of training mentally that you have to do, okay? So the answer, Jane, yes, you can do that. Not with the silent sphere, but yes, or Jana, I should say, not with the silent sphere, but through yogic trance and perhaps even deep hypnosis, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, GA here asks the question, I have a question, how to attract the dragon's energy, okay? Well, you want to look into the nature of the earth. I would suggest going to certain mountain ranges, or actually just being able to project them in your mind. There's certain connections to mountains to where dragons can actually can actually leave imprints of their energy. One of them is actually Mount Fuji of Japan, right? There's a lot of dragon energy if you're going around Mount Fuji as well too, from what I'm getting here. But the whole idea as well is just being able to understand how your relationship with the dragon comes together, right? I've always referred to that the people of Japan are dragon people, right? A lot of people that are Asian in descent have dragon lineage as well too. This also relates back to the serpentine people that live in the subterranes. Some of them in Japan, some of them in China as well too. There's India also, right? There are serpentine people, right? And they basically have associations with the dragon energy as well. You may also dream of dragons, right? You may actually have a dream dragon. I certainly had one. I referred to him as a Mashiel, right? It was Imatiel. And I would actually call him in at certain times during my dreams, and he would like come in, and I'd transit in between dimensions, going into the next dream, just riding upon him. It was quite exciting, right? There's also connections with the Fae, right? There was a moss dragon that I connected to on the island of Salt Spring here, and I connected to that in the forest. So it all depends. It all depends on the type of dragons, because there's many different types of dragons. They are connected very strongly with the elements, right? Earth, fire, air, water, right? And some of them can also be spirit dragons, right? Some of them, again, you can connect to in different realms, different frequencies. You can connect with them in the dream time. So you want to create a personal rapport with a dragon. So like I said, you can go to a mountain like Mount Fuji, right? You can even see a picture of it, tapping into it. That's one idea as well too. There's several different mountains even in the Himalayas that would also connect with the dragon energy as well too. There's also some connections with the Arctic and Antarctic as well too. You can connect with the dragon energy there also. But most importantly, I would say if you're able to work with a dream dragon, that would be one of your best ways of doing that, right? So just being able to close your eyes and just summon your dragon to you. That's what I did, right? I summoned a dragon, and what I did, I assigned a crystal to him. After I dreamt of him and I got his name, I just thought of him as I perceived him in the dream space. And I just put my hand on a crystal and I just infused the energy as how I saw Imashiel in a crystal. And when I was able to put all that energy into the crystal, I was able to interface with that crystal and talk to Imashiel as the dragon guide that came into my dreams. So that would be something I would suggest with UGA. One of the easiest ways to do it is just summon your dream dragon. Right? Summon your dream dragon, because we all have one, right? We all have angels. We all have guides if we want to summon them. And we can have a dragon if we want to summon that. You are creator, remember? So you're going into your dream state. You're feeling that connection with the dragon. You're feeling his energy, her energy. And you may ask for a name. Now, they may give you a name, or they may say, name me, right? When I got Imashiel's name, he told me it, right? So I got his name from that. But they may say, give me a name, right? And you can give them a name. And so that is your dragon connection. So the dragons, again, are very, very knowledgeable with everything pertaining to the earth, with everything pertaining to different galaxies, different star systems, even to the universe as well. They're like encyclopedias of knowledge. They're very, very intelligent. So this is why I feel that you would definitely benefit from befriending a dragon guide, right? So there are physical dragons, and there are also dragons that etherically exist. There's actually leviathans existing deeply within our earth that could be perceived as dragons as well too. They're kind of like serpentine dragons. It's kind of almost like looking at the yin and the yang as well too, the male, the female. There are those dragons as well too. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can really look at many different things. If you want to look into physical dragons, anchor into the mountains I've suggested, like Mount Fuji. Right? If you want to connect to the dream dragons with your own personal dragon energy, go for it. So yes, it's absolutely wonderful. I've done it myself, and it's a wonderful experience. You just get that kind of, it's a deep connection where you're kind of like looking into the multiverse of your dream state, and you're actually able to command your dragon to take you to different dimensions and experience different dreams. That's what I used Imashiel for on a couple of occasions. So it's quite wonderful. So all the best to you, GA. Thank you very much for your question. Okay. Okay, so let me just give me a minute here, guys. I'm just looking on some other questions here. Yeah, the bringer says, early on, I found it difficult to listen to you, Brad, because you were channeling. rather than directly connecting with the guidance of your pure soul. Now you have my full attention. Well, thank you, Bringer. And I was feeling that away for a while right now too. Like for the last couple of years, I felt that, right? It wasn't something that was just really sudden. What was sudden is saying, okay, it's time to hang it up, right? That was sudden to me. But the feeling of, I don't feel Adronis is going to be here anymore, right? And I just kept telling myself, I don't really need him. I don't really need him to share this information anymore, right? I love the guy. I still love Adronis to this day. He's family to me, right? And he knew this as well too. And like I said, and I can tell there are some people who said, Brad, I didn't really vibrate too well with the idea of channeling and bringing Adronis because I felt you didn't really need it. You don't need that. And I would agree. And that's again why I decided to hang it up, right? Like I said, there are some people that absolutely love Adronis, that can't get enough of him, that are really, really big fans and supporters of him. And there are some people who said, no, I don't really vibrate to that, right? You don't need a channel. And now that was, of course, my feeling. While I've been completely away from that now for over a month, I also felt it was important because it's also important that you guys get a human side to the spiritual intelligence, right? Adronis is humanoid, right? And he's human in a certain way. And he does share our genetics in that way. But he still comes from this as an off-worlder, right? And this is why I say it's very, very limited. Because when you're relying on an off-worlder to give you all this kind of information, they can't really do it, right? They really cannot do it because they do not live on the earth plane. They get all of their information through their channel, through their conduit, right? And even with that, there can be limitations upon that. So like I said, channeling is not an ultimate art. It's not something that is going to give you all of information, all of the insight, all of the spiritual intelligence of creation. You're not going to get it from a channel, right? You're going to get it by being one with spirit, right? You are one with spirit. I am spirit. You are the infinite intelligence. That's where you embody the infinite capability, right? So yes, Bringer, I agree with you on that. So that's exactly why it has been done. Okay, here's one from Heisenberg, and thank you for the contribution too. Heisenberg asks, hi Brad, who are the entities described in the epic ancient Indian scriptures, such as the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita? Well, some of this does relate to the serpentine beings, right? So there have been a lot of connections with the serpentine beings that even come through ancient Indian tradition as well too. Some of them aren't really extraterrestrial in that way. These are basically what you could refer to as types of deities or types of gods, right? There's a lot of talk in regards to the nature of Shiva's origin, right? And that Shiva actually became, Mount Kailash as well too. And these are extremely powerful beings. They exist in different realms of consciousness that are so profound. It's not looking at the idea of extraterrestrial, right? If you're looking at ancient astronaut people, right? It's, oh yeah, well, Shiva must have been an extraterrestrial, or Vishnu must have been an extraterrestrial and all that. No. They're far beyond all of those things, right? This again is like the greater, I would almost use the word superior planes of great intelligence, where they are profound vessels of God, right? Profound vessels, they embody that, right? There's a personality to them, but they represented this. It's kind of like looking at the souls of the universe, right? Profound souls, profound deities, as they've been told, avatars, right? That come here, incarnate into a body and generate a profound impact upon the planet because they are masterful souls, right? That's the nature of it. It goes beyond extraterrestrials. Extraterrestrials is a very, very small drop in the ocean relating to what's actually going on. There's so much that's existing within the universe that we still cannot even fathom. A lot of these beings, as we call them entities, I wouldn't even really call them that, right? They are pure essences of divine infinite intelligence. And they embody these vessels, and these vessels are just transient. They don't need them at all. They do it for our sake. They embody themselves in these vessels for our sake. But they can do these profound godlike things, right? And Indian tradition is all about that. Hindu tradition is all about that, about these great quote-unquote avatars, deities, that come to the planet and teach humanity things. Even when you're looking at the Greek gods, right? The Greek gods are, again, teaching about these profound deities who can do these incredible things, right? Zeus and Hera and name whatever Greek god you want to as well too, Prometheus, etc. All of these quote-unquote gods who are basically teachers coming down upon the planet, maybe teaching certain things to humanity that they were not supposed to be teaching, and then in that sense they feel like there's divine punishment. Some of them are exaggerated stories, some of them are actual accounts, but some of them in that sense are much more inwards. It's actually a lot of prophets that are creating these intentions of the gods that they have shared, that they have actually felt within themselves. And they're using things like the Mahabharata or the Yoga Sutras or the Bhagavad Gitas as internal stories to helping you move in together with the gods, right? Whether it be the Greek gods, whether it be the Indian gods in that way. All of these are basically maps, right? When you look at the Mahabharata, when you're looking at the Bhagavad Gita, when you're looking at the Yoga Sutras, etc., they're maps. It's really what they represent. They're all talking about the inner being. They're all talking about what you can become. And they work together with these stories, with these great deities, yes, that again have a presence. But you're actually looking at maps. When you really understand the true essence of what the story is trying to tell you, it's telling you how to navigate your own consciousness. It's telling you how to awaken yourself, how to be like the gods as well too. It's like Jesus said, right? Is that what I can do, you can do as well too, right? I am not the only one that has this ability. I'm teaching all of you how you can be like me, right? It's not about Jesus, it's about the Christ, right? It's not about Krishna, it's about the Krishna spirit, right? It's not about Buddha, it's the Buddha nature, right? So they're talking about the true nature, the true essence of what made them who they are and how we can do this. But humanity has still been confused because we've gone into this trance of thinking that everything has to be intellectual, that there needs to be, real literal translations here in regards to what's being said. Did these people actually walk the earth? Some ways they did, some ways they didn't. Some of it is just all part of a story, right? Like I said, there's serpentine beings, right, that have also helped to educate humanity in the past as well too. Some of them have different alliances to them. Some of them do not like humans. Some of them would rather eat humans. Some of them in that sense are quite gracious towards humans. It's all based upon different factions and different sects, right? So they're around India, they're around Asia, they're in Japan, right? It's quite common, these serpentine-like beings, reptilians in a way, all right? So thank you, Heisenberg, for your question. Okay, let me just take a moment, just going down the list again. Okay, JC has a question here. Question, can you speak of the frequent earthquakes along with the volcanoes and what it means for us here in the US? Well, a lot of them are artificially created. Okay, a lot of this is weather manipulation technology, frequency manipulation technology. A lot of these earthquakes are done often through the nature of threats, through the nature of trying to create further agendas of greater catastrophe. A lot of the earthquakes that we see, I would say at least over 3/4 of them, have been artificially caused. There's some natural minor earthquakes that happen from time to time, but again, the earth is not being malicious, but her body is being utilized for malicious intentions. So again, we have a lot of these people who have created these weather manipulation and frequency manipulation technology, artificial bioengineering, geoengineering, and they're unleashing this because they're trying to basically try to hold the whole world hostage so that they can still rule their empires, right? This is why we, back in the day where we had the Haitian earthquake, right? That powerful Haitian earthquake, that was artificially caused, right? In regards to disasters that happened into Japan several years ago, that was artificially caused, right? A lot of these large-scale earthquakes are artificial. They are manipulated, right? They are geoengineering. Same thing with the idea of this heat wave that we had in the summertime, okay? That too is used with microwaves. That too is used for combining a lot of heat and seeing all that heat just going all across the planet, right? There was even places in the Middle East that were like 50, 60 degrees Celsius. Like cars were melting. It was insane, okay? These are all artificial, geoengineered technology that a lot of the dark players still have. Some of it's being taken away, but they still have some of these toys together. They're still going to have these spaz attacks, right? They're still going to have these spaz attacks right up into the end of the year, moving up into the next year as well too. A lot of them are being taken down, but it's the residuals. It's the peripheral people as well too. And they're still going to be wreaking havoc, probably right up into the end of the decade, right? But it's not going to be as bad. It's just going to kind of go slower and slower and slower. Then there'll be a big spike around 2024, 2031, 2032, where there'll be some more intense times, just more of a greater dismantling. It's kind of like taking the ego out of the earth and basically expelling that as well too. But after this is all over, like I said, 2020s, this decade is a cleansing decade. It's a cleansing time. It's a time of awakening, great awakening through tragedy. And it's also a time of personal trial, right? This is a trial. Basically, I could say this is Armageddon. This is the apocalypse. This is what we're right in the heart of. This is what many of our masters, our ancient prophets, our sages have been talking about for thousands of years, is this time, okay? The good news, humanity prevails. Bad news is we got to go through a lot of crap to get there. And that's what we're doing right now. So you're going to have lies, you're going to have deceit, you're going to have manipulation, you're going to have enforcement, you're going to have pretty much everything we've been experiencing from 2020 up until now. A lot of this is supposed to happen because what it's trying to do is saying, guys, do you not see how corrupt your governments are? Do you not see how corrupt your world leaders are? Stop sitting on your hands. Get up and make some noise. Voice this, right? Come together. Work together. That's really what this is all about. It's getting people to jolt out of their reality, as I've been talking about since 2009, right? The funny thing about this too is I've talked to a lot of people about these times that were going to come. You know, there's going to be times where we're going to have so much shakeup, where we're going to be so completely jolted out of our reality, it's going to make 9/11 look like a picnic. Oh, Brad, don't worry. I'm ready. I got this. I'm doing my inner work each and every single day. I'm ready for this. I can take care of this time and it's happened. I'm ready. Here we are in 2021. Those same people scared out of their wits. Scared to death. Right? Frantic. But then I look at them the years before. Oh, I got this. It's good. It's all good. I'm ready. I'm meditating every single day. Nothing scares me. Here they are today. Hiding under a desk. Right? Very, very scared. Afraid of themselves. And that's fine. Because this was this is a whole intense experience as well too. But this is the end game, right? This is really what we're dealing with here. And it's going to last a few years. I don't think COVID is going to last a few years. Like I said, I think it's going to be dissolved here by the second quarter of 2022. But there's still going to be more plans. There's going to be more plans. There's going to be more agendas. There's going to be more of this stuff, right? So 2022 will still be another intense year, but there will be some healing involved with 2022 as well too. 2023, I could say the same, right? When we get into 2024, there's a brand new benchmark that's happening. So something very, very powerful is going to unfold during those next few years as well. So there's still a lot of work to do here, guys, right? It's not about, we're out of this yet. This is, again, a very big storm. And like I said, we're looking at thousands of years of deep corruption that is now just starting to unearth itself. And now we're starting to see this. We got a lot of crap to see, right? This is not just some gentle little snowflake of a disclosure. This is a heaping pile of crap. And we have to look at every single bit of it. No stone is left unturned. What do we do to retaliate against this? Come together, unify, work together as a whole, work together as one people. That's what's going to be the antidote. People coming together, not being fooled by all these old things, old manipulations, because they're saying everything, right? I was kind of laughing because there was an article online talking about, you shouldn't question, we shouldn't be so attached to facts anymore. It should just be more about how we feel. It's more about our emotions. Like, okay, this is the strategy, right? They're really trying to look at everybody like we're completely stupid and show these articles about how we shouldn't question authority, how we shouldn't be so prone on facts, right? And, just to do as you say, basically they're trying to blue pill you. That's what they're doing. They're throwing all these blue pills, right? To use Matrix references. That's what they're doing. So again, this is where you're using your discernment. This is a time for discernment, right? The people who have no discernment really aren't going to make it. That's just the truth. They are so completely attached to their government, to their authority. They're still very much catching Z's in the background. And it's those people, and there's more than enough of them right now. There's more of those people that are now fully awake and doing the work they're here to do. And it's a massive cleanup. But we're doing it while many of the people catching Z's are just asleep on their couch, munching on potato chips, watching CNN, and we're in the background, we're cleaning everything up. We're cleaning up their entire space while they're really just falling asleep and being programmed. So that's something that you have to deal with. That's just all part of, us sharing this space all together. But there's a dividing happening at the same time, right? So where there's a big division coming together about people who are very much in favor of the government, who just want to do what they're told. And like I said, those are the ones that are going to go down the ship. It's the people who are waking up. It's the people who are getting out of that space, working together, forming unity. That's what's going to make a difference. All right? So that's kind of me just going off into a bit of a sidetracking there. But nonetheless, that's what's happening. It's all just part of earthquakes, volcanoes, artificially created. It's very, very easy for them to do these things when they turn on that technology. Okay. Bringer says, well, Brad, you just helped me remember my own dragon. His name is Daikon. Oh, very cool. I like the name. Jana asks again, is it important for spiritual growth to wake up early each morning? I have never been an early bird. So I'm trying to understand your question here, Jana. Is it important for spiritual growth? Okay, for you to have spiritual growth, for you to wake up early each morning. No, guys, I wake up about like 9 a.m. So I'm not sure if that's considered early or not. It's recommended that you do that, right? One of the yogi traditions is that you would have breakfast at sunrise, and then you would have dinner at sunset. You would have 2 meals per day. And that, again, is flowing together in harmony with the earth, and that actually creates a greater rejuvenation effect. That you have your dinner, a good healthy dinner, at sunset, and you have at sunrise a good healthy breakfast. And that's what they would eat. And they would basically have that long gap, based upon the seasons, of course. But they would have that gap in between, and then they would go to sleep at night not eating a single thing. And that creates a great form of vitality through them. So that's something as well too. Like I said, yeah, I'm not the idea of a person who wakes up at 5:55 a.m., right, to get a look at the sunrise. I hardly do that at all. Could I be healthier? Of course, but I'm not really too concerned about it, right? When you are really connecting deeply with spirit, you're not really too concerned about the body. You're giving the body its basic needs, right? There's a lot of talk about rejuvenating yourself and live until you're 100 years old. I don't really know if I want to live till I'm 100. Maybe I'm happy just living till 60 or 70. I'm not really looking to beat any records here about living for an entire century, because when you're, again, with spirit, you don't care. You're not really too concerned about how long the body lasts. You're giving it its basic needs. You're giving it its basic care, but you're not too concerned about, should I live till I'm 100 or 125 or 200 years old? Don't really care. Bodies are an infinite supply, but I am one in spirit, and that's what truly matters. That's the true reality. It's the permanence. And in permanence, there is no body. There is no mind. There's only that stillness. There only is the self, right? It's remembering to be the self at all times. That's the key here. So when you realize that you are the self at all times, you don't really care what time you wake up in the morning. If you wake up early in the morning, good for you. If you work up a little bit later, good for you. Some of us are night owls, right? We stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We wake up around 11 or 12, around that time. That's fine. That's up to you. Just do it in regards to what compliments you. That's the idea. Okay? Thank you, Jonah. Okay. Val Madness asks, in terms of shape, what are the most common Syrian crafts like? Well, Adronis didn't really have a spacecraft in that way. Adronis came through a Merkabah vessel, right? A star tetrahedron in that way. There are a lot of Syrian ships that are spherical in nature. Some of them are also planetary in size as well, too. Some of them can also be tetrahedron in shape. Some of them can also be kind of like beans, or like peas, or lima beans. Some of them can also be similar to that as well too. So there's kind of somewhat flatter oval shaped craft as well too. There's triangular craft, there's pyramid shaped craft, there's tetrahedron shaped craft, there's spherical craft. Like I said, Adronis came through a Merkabah. So there's many different types. Sirius itself is vast, right? We're looking at the entire nature of Canis Major, right? You have quite a few different stars within that star system. Adronis would explain some of them, though, right? He would talk about mainly spherical craft was quite common. And again, triangular craft, arrow craft. So, I mean, it all depends. It all depends on the type of Syrian that you're connecting with, because there are many different types of Syrian races. All right? Melissa says, Brad, do you work with Jesus? No, it's Christ consciousness, but the man Jesus. I work more with the Christ. Yes, I have had conversations with Jesus. I certainly have in the past. I've had some conversations with Buddha as well too. I've had meetings with Paramahansa Yogananda. I've had meetings I had one brief altercation with Mahavatar Babaji as well too. I've also awakened in this beautiful spiritual realm. Anandamayi Ma was there as well too. So I've talked to some of the masters. Yes, I wouldn't say even talk. I just kind of had a presence with them more so. But the time when I was going very, very deeper into spirit, I would have connections with the one that we would call Jesus. Yes. But he really didn't need to tell me that much. He's like, Brad, you already know what to do. You already know what to do. It's just trust in regards to what you're feeling, right? He didn't really need to lecture me or give me any of that information. Just keep going what you've been doing. You're not doing anything wrong. Just keep going, right? That was really the nature of it. So he really didn't need to do that much. But yes, I've had several different occasions where I've talked to the one known as Jesus, okay? But it's not about Jesus. It's about the Christ, right? It's not about Buddha. It's about the Buddha nature. It's not about Krishna. It's about the Krishna spirit, right? That's what really stands out. And this is kind of what they're reminding me of. So it's not about me. It's about the Christ. It's about you. You are the Christ. You are the Buddha nature. You are the Krishna spirit, right? That's who you are. Focus on that rather than the person. So yes, I've had personal connections with those beings, person to person, but the important part is the nature of the Christ, all right? Of course, they're my brothers. How can I say? Brothers and sisters. Absolutely. Get Bad says, do you have any insight as to how the injection agenda might end? I know several people that have been badly injured and even know of others that have died. They're coming for the kids soon. Well, here's the funny thing, is that there's a lot of alternative treatments that are starting to get press. If we're actually looking in Florida, there's antibody clinics that are actually coming together right now, right? The state of Florida is opening up a lot more antibody clinics. Now, again, guys, you have to understand these devil worshippers are desperate. They are so incredibly desperate that there is no low they won't sink to. They want to go after your kids. They want to go after you. They want to go after seniors, right? That's simply how they are. These guys are non-negotiable. So the whole idea is that what do? You stop feeding them. Stop feeding them in regards to state of attention. What should be getting more attention is the people's intention to work together to see these alternative treatments, right? You have your ivermectin, you have your hydroxychloroquine, you have antibody clinics that are now coming up, right? You have a lot of alternative treatments. There's supplement treatments that people can take. They have organic supplements that you can take to shrink down the spiked proteins. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that's coming up. We're not starved for alternatives. But again, a lot of those groups do not want you to talk about that. So they will try and use their own proxies and their own mainstream media to do this. So what do? You make the alternative media bigger than the mainstream media. You make the internet in its own raw form greater than all of those MSMs all together, because you're all coming together and you're working together with these independent platforms. And now they're backed by something else, and then they're backed by something else, and then they're backed by something else. And it's too much for them to handle, and they know there's nothing they can do. That's exactly what's happening right now, right, guys? The dark side is losing horrifically. They are losing everything. That's what many of us don't realize. They are on the verge of death because there's so few of them left in regards to these power positions. There's a lot of them that are kind of scattered around the planet, but in regards to power positions, very few of them left, right? The majority of the people that are coming into power right now are going to be much more of the counter forces, the white hats, right? That's what's happening. So very few of them are just basically using all the stroke that they have left, very small, because they still do have a lot of connections to the mainstream media. That's one of their ultimate weapons, is the MSM, right? So again, what's happening is a lot of people are just tuning out. Maybe even if you look at the ratings of a lot of these networks, they're plummeting. They're plummeting in ratings because no one's listening to them. That's why they're so scared. They're trying to turn the dial all the way up into crimson red here of intensity and saying, no, we got to convince people to stop looking at these alternative treatments. We got to stop people from trying to think for themselves because we're losing, we're dying, right? That's how frantic they are, right? And they are going to die out. But right now, again, we are in a cyclic phase. This cyclic phase lasts until April of 2022. Okay, that's the COVID phase. That cycle ends around then, around that time of April. So right now, guys, the fall time and the early winter, it's going to be intense. Okay, it's going to be intense because they're fighting. They're fighting with every last bit of strength that they have left. And the time is going to come where there's going to be new leadership that's going to be presented, where the idea of the mainstream media is finally going to be infiltrated, and everything is really going to change form and take a different shape. That's really where the debut of 2022 comes into play, again around the second quarter or so, right? So in the meantime, yes, they're going to be pounding the pavement. They're going to be hitting hard. They're going to crank up the dials, and they're going to do everything. Guys, we're going to manipulate every single one of you. We're going to make sure every single one of your children gets a shot. We're going to make sure that you get a shot. How do you react? Right? No, I don't think so, because I stand with the majority, and we don't want any of that, right? We're standing tall. So what you guys are doing is you're overcoming the greatest bully that you have ever witnessed in your entire life. And that is the dark players as an entity. That's the cabal, whatever you want to call them. They're the greatest bully you've ever met in your entire life. Okay? And they are seated in your governments. They are seated in your education. They are seated in your technology. They are seated in your social media. They are seated in all of these different branches. That's why there's been a major cleanup happening these past couple of years to getting them out. But it was so vast to how they have left their footprint. This is why it takes time. People think, oh, come on, you guys can just snap a finger and this is all done. No, I don't think so. You don't do that. This is a gigantic presence, a giant's footprint upon pretty much every single system that has ever been manifested by man. That is a great undertaking. And you have people in that sense that are being turncoats every single day that are looking to take out this system more and more, right? So a lot of these turncoats that were once part of these dark groups are now turning sides and are now shifting, right? They surrender and then they give information. This is going to happen for a few years. You are looking at a force that is so incredibly large, right? You can't just snap your fingers and think, okay, it's done. And it's not about thinking that one group is going to be responsible for taking care of all that. All of us need to take care of this. We're talking about the people. We're talking about these other groups. We're talking about off-worlders. We all work together. This is not one group's job. This is everybody's job, right? So again, this is why people just get so much into a rut. Then why isn't this over with already? What's going on? What's going on? Guys, you have no idea about what's actually happening in the background. You have no idea how deep this infiltration goes. It's a deep, 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 deep rabbit hole. And it's going to take years to clean it all out. It'll take maybe a little bit of a shorter time if we work together, but if we still stay divided, it's going to take a long, long, long time. So this is, again, the strategy, saying we got to basically put the pressure on to feel that everybody's feeling of liberties is being taken away, that your freedoms are being taken away. We have to give that impression to everybody because that's what's going to wake everybody up. And we're going to say this is what the government is doing. This is part of the ploys. This is actually what the white hats are doing. The counterforces are doing that. We're saying let this run because it's the only way that we're going to wake up people en masse. It can't be done any other way. It can't be done with whistleblowing. It can't be done with data dumps. We've tried that, and it does not bring about the desired effect. We have to get as many people awoken as possible, and the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we create this gigantic campaign where everybody feels like their liberties are being threatened, their children are being threatened, they are being threatened, their families being threatened, for them to get up off their butts and work together and take a stand, because now you have collective consciousness supporting that. And that's what's going to make a difference. That's why they're doing this. It's the extreme way, but that's how humanity is. We are right at the edge of teetering over a cliff before we realize, oh crap, I'm at a cliff, I better pull myself up. That's how humanity has always been. We don't change collectively until we're just right at the cusp of the crimson red. It's how we are, right? Because again, that's how deep this programming is. Because humanity is such a powerful race, They have had to bring in the most intricate, powerful, mind-altering programs and technology on this planet for thousands of years, because that's how powerful humanity is. It's not a gentle snowflake agenda here. You have to bring in some of the most profound, advanced, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional technologies to try and enslave everybody, because humanity is so frigging powerful. That's why there is no other planet in existence that has the deep concentration of mind control altering technology that the Earth does. It's the top one. It's number one that has this deep enslavement control programs here. No other planet has that much concentration of it. We're the only one. Why? Because that's how powerful we are. If we awaken, guys, we are talking about a universal shift that is so profound. It's going to affect other planets, and it's going to affect other star systems. It's going to affect the flow of the galaxy. It's going to affect other galaxies. It's going to affect other dimensions when we awaken to who we really are. That's how powerful we are. And again, we still don't get it. We don't think that. Imagine again that each and every single one of you are so deeply connected to spirit that the idea of instantaneous healing is nothing. Right? Imagine that just together we're able to reverse all of the pollution damage upon this planet. Our air is clean, our waters are clean, our land is clean. Toxicity is wiped away by a thought. Guess who's the only race who's able to do that? Us. That's what happens when we come together. The idea of corruption can vanish like a blink of an eye when people really realize their God nature. That's how powerful we are. We don't know it. And that's what they're scared of. If these people know who they really are, we're doomed. The darkness, the corruption, we're all doomed if they realize how powerful they are. Right? That's what they're afraid of the most. That's what basically wants to make them wet themselves, right? Just thinking about that idea. So that's why the desperation is here, because in time, we're going to get there. Absolutely. Okay, so get bad. There's a little bit of information here for you. Okay, guys, we're going to take one or two more questions, and we're going to wrap up. Okay. Matthias asked, Brad, what type of technology was used to build those intricate Hindu temples, ancient cones from Egypt? A lot of it is through, yes, which you refer to as the toroidal fields, right? Michael Tallinger actually showed this to me when I was in South Africa. It was a toroidal stone, right? And it basically had a hole in the middle, and when it was active back in the day, it actually had its own toroidal field. The cones, again, were basically resonators, and you could actually manipulate the energy of the toroidal field while a person is in a certain state of trance and being able to lift objects, right? That's basically what happened. And they would often use sound tone frequencies to manipulating the energy of the toroidal stone as well, too. And then they would have these cones, and they would basically direct that energy towards an object, basically being able to cancel out its force through its effect of gravity, and being able to levitate it, and also being able to alter it and transform it through one who is able to command these cones linked together with this toroidal stone. So this toroidal stone in that sense had an intense, potent toroidal field that bonds together in the toroidal field of its user, utilizing the nature of sound frequencies and then the cones to direct the fields, and being able to manipulate matter, being able to make it float, being able to put it into these areas. But they were not just blindly putting these blocks in place. This is all in alignment to music, right? So when you're looking at a lot of the ancient temples, even if you're looking at Cambodia with Angkor Wat, right? All created by music. That is complete music tones. Everything is configured through the nature of music. The Egyptian pyramids by music. The Giza Plateau by music, right? A lot of these ancient sites by sound, by music, because they're all toned in that way. This is why they stand the test of time. This is a forgotten technology. The only person who has had public demonstration of being able to demonstrate how the pyramids were built was Ed Leeds Skellnan, who developed Coral Castle. Okay, he was the one who knew the secrets of how it was created. So he created an artificial way of using radio tuners, right? And being able to use a chain heist and being able to hoist up these rocks and being able to get them to float and to rematerialize themselves. When you look at Coral Castle, that is, again, an example of a modern day way of how these sites were created, right? A lot of them are created through those toroidal stones, through those cones, and through the power of sound vibration and bonding together in trance with the potency of the morphogenic field of the toroidal energy that is contained within those stones that they would wear around a necklace, just like this. They would have the cones, and it was all linked together. They were linked together as one. They would chant, they would sing, and that was all part of the idea of them being able to manipulate the stones, the objects, because the cones acted as sound rods as well too, right? So that's the nature of it. Val, I know you've been asking that question for a very long time, so there you have it. Okay, that's how the ancient sites were built. Okay, so let me see if we can take one more question, guys. We're gonna wrap up. Okay. Bringer says something about Kriya Babaji Najaraj. I actually haven't looked into him, Bringer, so I have to look into him first before I can answer a question. I haven't looked into every single guru that exists, right? I only knew a few of them. So I'd have to look into that person before I could give you an answer. Okay. Okay, here's I think we'll end on this question here with Mike. Mike says, "Hi Brad, can you speak to the power of awakening the spirit by attuning the physical vehicle through humming?" And the way of doing that is the Om chanting. Okay. Now, have you guys heard of silent Om chanting? Okay. If you guys have heard of silent Om chanting, it's just as impactful as being able to chant it out loud. Okay. There is a process that even Forrest Knudsen talks about, known as Om Japa. Okay. And all that is you're actually mentally chanting Om within your body. And you're putting it, for example, in the chakras. You can also put it in the organs as well too, right? You're mentally chanting Om. It's like you have a sphere, and it's like you have the Om symbol in the middle, and you can actually hear it within your mind of the Om chanting. And you can put it in every chakra center. You can put it in your organs, and you can rejuvenate yourself completely. There are those in that sense who are doing variations of different attunements pertaining to the Om chanting. Right? Some of them will also use other particular forms of mantras as well too, right? So sometimes it can be a and it can go into different fluctuations of vibration. And they're directing that energy. They're not just chanting it for the sake of chanting it. That energy is being directed. It's actually like seeing themselves as a sphere. And they're expanding themselves more and more with that chanting. Whether they're doing mantra chanting, whether they're doing Om chanting, whether they're doing Om Japa, whether they're doing silent chanting, whether they're just simply staying within the space of stillness. They feel themselves completely expanding and moving into that way. They feel themselves leaving the body. They're no longer even seeing themselves attuned to a body. They're seeing themselves through the eye of God. They're actually able to see the spirit light of I within themselves and move directly into that. There's no awareness of the body now. There's just awareness of everything that exists. There's awareness of the all. So yes, that can come through chanting. That can come through mantras. That can come through silent Om chanting. That can just come by being still. Right? Everybody has a different way. There are many roads to God. But yes, I'm very familiar with what you're talking about. Right? With the idea of people being able to completely refurbish their entire body. Right? Just like what I'm teaching you guys to do when you're working with realignment method, right? With the distance healing that we do at the beginning of the broadcast, right? So when you're doing this work, like I said, you're going into these deep states. You're not in the state of ignorance and ego. You're far beyond that. You're going into this deep chanting. You're going into this mantra chanting. You're going into this Om chanting. You're going into silent Om. You're going into Om Japa. You're going into stillness. And you are everything. You are everything. You are everyone. You are all that exists. Right? I've been in similar states like that. Not through chanting, by the way, but just by being still. A couple of days, I think it was last week, I was demonstrating the nature of 3 samadhis. Okay? So you have a first samadhi, which is known as Salvikalpa samadhi. Okay? That is where you are being imperturbable. You're being idle, but you're being imperturbable to any thoughts that come to you. Right? You're completely imperturbable with that. This is actually what I do before I come into a broadcast, right? Is doing some Savikalpa Samadhi, okay? And there's Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is there's absolutely no thoughts within your awareness whatsoever. You're completely still. I'll demonstrate that for you for one moment here. Okay. Within those few moments, not a single thought was within my mind. I just say, I'm going right into Nirvikalpa, and it's there, right? There's no other form of preparation needed. Like I said, this happens when you're doing a lot of deep meditation over the years, okay? And the third is the active samadhi, which is known as sahaja samadhi, okay? And that's where you're just basically in a state of bliss, and you're just doing common activities, right? And you're completely imperturbed by everything, right? This is pretty much the nature, the essence of imperturbability altogether. You're in that natural state of sahaja samadhi, okay? Ramana Maharshi talked about that a lot. With sahaja samadhi, where he's just active, he was able just to walk up the hill of Aranuchala, right? Aranuchala, and coming back, and he was always in that state. He was always with the self, right? That's all you have to do, guys. It does not have to be so advanced with certain mantras or certain mudras, right? You're doing Kachari mudra or anything of that nature. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You can do that if you're feeling that that's your path, right? And it helps and it's a benefit. But that's not what it's about. It's about being able to go into your own stillness. It's about being able to go into silence and to know that you are spirit. This is why I say, I am spirit. I am God. I am creator. I am the self at all times. And when you're in that space, you're in that nature. That's what propels you beyond the body to know that you are the all. All right? So keep working with it. Work with those low idle states, those subtle states. That's what's going to make a difference. Okay? So thank you, Mike, for that question. Okay, guys, we're out of time for now. We've almost been here almost 2 hours. So I'm going to come back again next week, next Friday. We're going to have more Q&A. See, you guys loving the Q&A? No Adronis? And some really great insight from Spirit coming through me. All right? This is why I say you don't need to concern about channeling. Continue to ask questions like you would Adronis. And again, this information comes through. So this is why I'm showing this to you guys. Right? You don't need Adronis to have some great insight coming through here with Spirit speaking through me as a vessel. All right? So keep bringing on those wonderful questions. They're great. All of you guys have asked really great questions. And thank you, everybody, again, for participating with the distant healing as well, too. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your contributions as well. So keep joining me with the 30-day BCR technique as well, the 30-day challenge. Okay, the next one is happening tomorrow. And I will see you all next Friday. And also, tonight comes the next Infinite Intelligence Report. Okay, Infinite Intelligence Report, episode number 5, will be debuting on my YouTube tonight. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Talk to you again soon. Take care, and may it be well. Goodbye for now.